Thank you all for joining the session today. So today we'll be discussing about the fourth, topic this this entire year. So this is our fourth session in this month, in this year, and we would be first starting off with a small introduction. So just to introduce myself, I take care of operations within Anamind. My name is Sheetal. I've been with this organization for more than 6 years now. As part of our core offering, we help companies improve their business planning and forecasting capabilities, and we have different verticals over here. The first one is the planning solution, then the service, and the education. So the first part is Forecast Pro and Streamline, and then the Planful and Plan Wizard solution. So Forecast Pro is a comprehensive demand planning solution, and then Streamline is a solution which is demand. Streamline solution can do demand planning as well as inventory optimization and planning. Further, Plan Visage can does offer demand planning as well as inventory planning as well as production planning and scheduling, followed by Planful, which is a solution which can do financial planning. Just give me a second, please. So moving on, we have a service portfolio. So we have planning as a service and then BI analytics, where we offer our services as an outsource engagement, and we also help companies uh, create and automate their reporting needs on Power BI. So that's part of our service portfolio, followed by education. So we also offer classroom session over the web and self-paced online courses for planning and forecasting. Now, today's topic is on Forecast Pro. So let me give you a brief about Forecast Pro as well. So Forecast Pro is from a company called as Business Forecast System. It was founded in 1986, and it is one of the oldest solution of a forecasting software, I must say. And this is a solution which is implemented for more than 40,000 plus users across the globe and has thousands of companies in which it's being used to reduce the inventory and also reduce the stockouts by improving the forecast accuracy. Um, in terms of feature, I'm sure many of you are aware of its best pick option, as well as various techniques and methods to look at new product promotions and event management, as well as overall collaboration and team forecasting. Now, in today's topic, we have kept it pretty short. Some portion of it is still data management, which is where the event simulation comes into place, and then we have working with layouts and Excel collaboration coming into the piece. So we'll be discussing about how we can actually work with different layouts of within Forecast Pro, and what are the various techniques which we can utilize to improve the Excel collaboration. But the first portion which I was unable to showcase in our last discussion, which was event simulation, I'll possibly talk on that. And for that, I'll be using the same example which we were discussing in our last session last month, and that was a project for a giveaway section. So let me read that data series in the system first, and then we'll showcase how we can use the same event to simulate the future as well. Okay, now just to let me just disconnect Slack for once. Okay. So we have, as we were just looking at this data series in the last section, which was when in this time that we see over here. So I've read this data series of a of a product which was on promotion. When I say on promotion, it was basically given away for free for certain customers in a in US as part of the Thanksgiving and giveaway you know festivals that happen. So now, how do we manage in such cases? Because this is detected as an outlier by the system. So one way which we discussed in our last call was with managing the event. Now, how do we manage the event? We can actually create an event in the system saying this was a uh, giveaway scheme because of which the sales went up. So we have created an event for that, and I have marked the same event in the past, and I've said commit. For the month of Jan 2020, we have marked that as an event. And we can clearly see that the sales for Jan this time also went down. If I open this forecast report, it gives me a detailed input as to what is the impact of this giveaway promotion. It tells me that because we did this promotion, my sales went up by 22,338 units. That's the precise number that the system is coming up and determining. Now, there are various ways in which we can use the impact of the event from past and apply it to the future. Let's say we have also planned, because of the success of the scheme, we have also planned the scheme next year as well, in the coming year, but maybe not in the same month. So we really want to do a simulation and see what could be the impact in future. And what we can do, we can say, okay, this month I'm applying the event in the month of Feb. So if I do that, if I do that, I can select the month of Feb over here. I can select the same giveaway promotion. What the system will do, that in Feb right now my forecast, statistical forecast, which is coming to be about 3,161, it will go up, and it will basically use the impact of the same promotion and apply it in the future time period. So now we can see that we see an additional sale over here, and my sales have increased to 25,499. So that's the kind of impact that we can see over here. So that's how we can actually use the impact of the past promotion and apply it to the future and model it in the system. This is one topic that I wanted to cover, which was kind of missed out in my last series. Now, moving on, the second option is working with layouts. Now, as demand planners, how do we make our work easier? What we can do in the system is we can create different layouts. And by different layouts, what I mean is, and I'll possibly show you that I've opened this screen over here. I hope it's visible to you all. I've opened a different project. Now, as demand planners, typically our work begins at the start of the month. We upload the historical sales data of the last month or last week, and we open the screen. Now, we typically look at all the outliers in the data, the accuracies or inaccuracies in the data, and we would want to manage that first. So this is one layout that I've created where I would want to look at month on month how my forecast is changing, what's the MAPE, and I also want to look at what my forecast versus actuals are for, say, different items at the SKU level. That's what I'm trying to manage. So I've uploaded in this project, I've uploaded the auto parts example. We have the historical data, we have the conversion data. I've also uploaded some customer forecast and some definitions over here. So now in this section, because I'm looking at my forecast versus actual for the last month, so I can see this is my history, this is my forecast. I can see there's a huge deviation. So I've sorted the data based on the absolute deviation numbers. So we can select the sort from largest to smallest and say select absolute value and then click on OK. Because I've done that, I'm going to click on cancel, but in your case, you can do that. So I want to say select this particular SKU. So we can definitely see that this was a huge spike in sale, possibly a one-time sale, and that is what is being depicted over here. I can see month on month how my sales are versus my forecast. Because the sales are so fragmented, my forecast is pretty low in this case. So I can quickly and easily look at various data points and see why the issue is happening. Now, in this case, you can clearly see that the sales are pretty low, but suddenly the sales spiked to 10,000 over here. Maybe this was a time period where we need to basically mark events. So I can quickly take that decision. I can create the events. I can say there was a stock out because of which we had some low sales volume. I've created that event. It's pretty easy to create the events in the system. Though each year Jan the sales go down, but this year seem to be pretty drastic even in these earlier months. So if I select these 2 months as stock out, I'm just making it up. I mean, it depends on product to product. You demand planners who are closer to the business would know this information, would know how to basically handle such situation. So we can basically look at this information and say mark and correct things accordingly. So this is one layout which I really want to have in front of me. And I do not want to go and click all these reports and open it when I would want this information to be. But I would want this information to be retained. And what I've done, I've created one layout which is history correction. So even if I say close all these different reports over here, I would be able to, with just one click, I'll be able to open all of the reports at once. So I wanted to showcase how we can create these different steps we typically follow in the planning process, how we can create these steps in the system to open various reports and open various layouts pretty quickly and effectively. So let's create a second layout, and I want to do this right in front of you so that you also know what to do. Say for example, after forecast versus actuals, you want to look at all the A class items. Okay, so now I'm going to expand this screen. I'm also going to open my not forecast report. I want to open the override grid. I also want to open the ABC, basically an item report, which would have my Pareto information. So what I've done, I've asked, I've basically selected certain settings that use dollars. So because I've uploaded the conversion factors, I can see the information in different unit instead of default. So I've told the system to perform an ABC classification based on my future demand. I can also select my history, or I can select a combination of history plus forecast to be able to do this analysis. So I've taken, for now, just for this exercise, I've just taken forecast versus only forecast for calculating ABC. When we do that, I would want to further go to settings. I would want to create this report in certain format that I would want the list to be there. I want the percentage of total to be there. And that's about it. I do not want the model or statistics to possibly show up. Historic mean is something that we would definitely want to have. Yeah. And from models and statistics, I'm just removing this information. For now, I do not require it. Or possibly if you would need it, maybe you can have that included. So seasonality, I'm just removing all of that for now. I'm just clicking OK. And yeah, So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this report right in this section over here, which is how I would like to look at the data. Now, this is the view that I would want when I complete the outliers and you know my forecast accuracy check. I would want to then look at my ABC classification. So I can freeze this layout. I can say add layout, and in the layout, I'm going to mention A class item check. Mhm. Or say this is step 2, A class item, A class check, all A class review. We can create this second layout. So now I can navigate from first view to the second view in just one click. And system also takes less time to open these different reports because this layout is set, system remembers it, and we can quickly, work on it. So this is how we basically navigate from one layout to another layout. The third layout could be, so depending on the users, they might want to look at or extract the uh, basically look at, they might want to look at the override report after say overriding all the information. So maybe that could be the third step, or they might want to look at all the NPIs, or maybe they want to look at product mapping. So we can create that in this fashion. We can create, add the layout and create additional layouts in the system. So that's how typically we can navigate from layout to layout, and it just makes our work easier in terms of moving from one screen to another screen. I hope this section was useful and some of you would be using this in your process as well. Moving on, the final section, which is widely used by the users, is the Excel collaboration piece. I wanted to work on certain parameters which we can incorporate in the system to effectively use Excel collaboration. Excel collaboration is a feature where we can actually export out our forecast, make changes to the forecast or override the forecast in different units, and then incorporate it and then import back the same file again into the system. And for that, I'll move to a different example over here. So in this example, we have uploaded some filters over here, and there are two filters. One is ABC classification, one is sales rep information. So there could be one sales rep assigned to a region, and he would be solely contributing for the north region, or there could be another sales rep handling a different zone or a different location and all of it. And based on that, the SKUs or the regions get or the changes in those regions get specified. Now, what can we do in such case is we can upload that information through a filter file over here. We can map the products and the locations which are relevant for a particular set of customers. I'm going to go to Excel collaboration. There's some additional ABC files that I've already created, but I'll walk you. I would want to touch upon these topics again. So I'm going to look at changes in the sales row, and that's the information that I would want to look at. And then I'm going to look at, say, filtered multiple lines, multiple files. I'm going to select sales rep. In this, I've selected few of the sales rep handling specific regions. I want to look at next 6 months forecast and last 3 months actual sales. And we do have some additional information. So any information that we upload in the system through the external files in the system, in the external file section, we can actually make these files available while importing it, while exporting it out in the Excel collaboration window. Right now, I'm not selecting anything, but I'll show you at the end, what kind of information can be exported out in these reports. So when I would click OK, system is going to create a different file for each of these sales rep with this information and an option for them to make changes in the sales row of the override. I'm just going to click exit. And now you can see these files are created automatically. System is automatically picking up that this is for the sales row, and the hierarchy as well. We can define that. Now I'm going to open this in Excel. So this file is now opened in Excel, and it gives me the last 3 months actual sales. So anything which is grayed out is my historical or past sales, and anything which is not grayed out is my forecast. In this case, since we have different forecast numbers, the sales team often might be looking at, say, for example, last 3 months average as one of the indicator to basically, just judge the forecast, that some information that they want to look at. So I'm going to add last 3 months average over here, and we can do these calculations in this file, which is last 3 months average. Or we can just fine tune the formula if error. It's going to make a change. Yeah. So I've changed the formula over here. And I'm not going to paste them as values. I'm just going to let this file be as is. And then I can make any change in my forecast. Say in this case, I want to increase the forecast from 176 to 250. I can do that. I want to increase it by 10% for this item. I can easily quickly do that. In this case, I want to increase it by 100 units. I can do that. In the next case, I want to increase it, or I want to just change it to 450 or things like that. I can do that. I can also insert a comment as to why I'm making a change here. The users can insert a comment as to higher sales expected, and it automatically, the system is going to capture the comment as well. So all of this information is available to the user, and as I said, I've also done added a formula over here. I can also add additional formulas. Maybe it could be the price information that we would want to have a look at. So I can go to the system, open some of the files which are possibly required. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. This is the file. Maybe I want to look at the overall price information, or maybe it could be a different. I want to look at the opening stock, or maybe the month to date this thing. Right now, I'm just looking at the opening stock because I want to also see what my overall stock position is. So stock, I'll just keep it as SOH, and I can do either SMFs or I can do a VLOOKUP. Anything is manageable in the system. I'm just mapping it from a different file altogether. Just bear with me for this. So we have provided this additional information as well. Now, because the file is pretty standard, I am saving it. I've saved this file, and or maybe I can just provide this file further to the sales team, and they can input the information by looking at the external data as well, and it just is easy. Okay, so I've saved this file. I'm just going to import it back into the system. I'm just going to import this file back. So next month, the idea is I do not have to recreate the files again and again every month. What I can do is I can utilize the same file, and the formulas can remain in the system. And all I have to do is just import, uh, just click on refresh date over here, and it will all be updated along with the formulas remaining intact. Means that next month, when we would have the Jan data in the system and we would be generating from Feb to July, then my last 3 months would change. My last 3 months would become would be Jan, December, and November instead of the OND which is currently available in the system. So in the same file, without doing any additional work, I can utilize the same Excel file and just click on update. That's it. I can update this file whenever I bring that new information in and circulate the same files to the user. It just reduces my work as a demand planner while providing the same information to the sales team or to the other relevant stakeholders who are part of the S&OP discussion. So these are the three topics that I wanted to cover in this section, and I wanted to keep this session pretty short considering it's month end. And we are right now at the fourth month, so pretty much we have covered quite interesting topics previously. But if there is any topic that you would want us to cover next time, feel free to let us know. If you have any questions, you can ask us now, or you can ask us over the email. The session is being recorded and it will be made available to all of you, even those who had registered but were not able to attend the session. So we'll be circulating the recording of the session. I hope the session was useful to you all.
Yes,
All
Shital,
right.
I think, yeah, it was a good session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayush. Thanks. All right. Let me know, Ayush, if you have any question with respect to the topics that we have covered so far, or any other topic that you would want to know with respect to
I-
Focus Pro. Would be happy to.
Uh, Actually, I just have a short question. So how does actually the event modeling works in Forecast Pro? I'm pretty new with Forecast Pro as well. I think you might know I had just used few months as a trial, so I'm not hadn't gone in very much
Yeah.
depth for that. But I just want to know that once we model it as an event, any particular data parameter that we want to model is at an event, does the software completely ignores it, or uh, how does it work actually?
Okay. So now I hope I'm still sharing my screen.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So in this case, what the system is trying to do, if you just look at this data set where
Yeah,
we are trying
correct.
to model the event. Now in this case, because we have provided in the system, say roughly about 3 data points for the month of Jan,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
system is going to look at all these 3 different months. I'm just touching it upon at a very high level
Mm-hmm.
over here. It's going to look at that each January how we had performed,
Mm-hmm.
because this is a seasonal product, and with the seasonal variations, pretty much seasonal data set, right? So it's going to look at each of these 3 data points, and it's number one, in this case it is automatically detected it is an outlier. So what the system is going to do, and if let me just remove this uh, modifier completely. So it's saying that, typically, if you look at this data, it's saying that typically in the month of Jan, our actuals are around 26,448. But typically, if you would look at the fitted number, it says typically we should not be doing more than 6,200
Correct.
72 in this month. So it is number one, it is looking at all the different data set and it is calculating this value automatically as to what that number would be. And
Mhm.
if I would say mark only this month as an event, then it's going to remove the impact of the event from the data. And that's what we had seen, right? So roughly about 22,000 units is what system was saying that is because of the event effect.
But when you went ahead for 2021 Jan data, how does it go ahead and pull it up then in that case? When you modeled it at both as the same event.
Yeah, so if I'm modeling it as a same event, then it's going to look at how much we typically do in Feb and what is the impact of this event in the past. It's going to then, if you would recall, and I'm just going to look at, I'm just going to basically mark that event again.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I've marked that event again. So what it is doing that in this particular event has an impact of about 22,000 on my sales,
Okay.
right? So it's going to add that number at a very, if I really want to understand the concept, then it's going to add that number in the month of Feb. And if you would recall, for the month of Feb, initially the sales was somewhere around 3,000 units. So it's
3,000 unit.
22,000 on top of 3,000. So that's how the impact of event typically
Okay.
is managed in the system.
Okay. So when you mark a event in the historical data, it ignores it, but when you mark it in forecasted data, it simply adds it. If I will summarize, that is correct.
Yes, in a sense, it is correct. So it also depends on the kind of model that is being used. Right now, it's an exponential smoothing model. If it's say in this case, it's an additive series model. So it's adding it up. If it's a multiplicative seasonality, then it's going to multiply it, uh,
Okay.
and the values would not be 22,000. It would be like 2.14, which means that the event is increasing the sales by 200 times or something like that. So that's how,
Understood.
yeah, that's how the
Understood.
impact will show up.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shita, for the clarification. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Ayush, for asking that question. Do we have any other question? All right. In that case, this was a short session. Thanks for joining the session today. I hope it was useful to you. If you have any clarification, if you want to know more about Focus Pro, feel free to reach out to us anytime. This recording would be made available to all the users on our YouTube channel at Anamind, and you'll also receive an email shortly. So look forward to hearing more from you for your further questions or maybe some topics that you would want us to cover next time. But till the meantime, stay safe and have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Yeah.